Welcome YouTubers. Today I'm going to change the spark plugs on a Hayabusa Generation 2 012, that's my one, and I'm putting in NGK laser iridium, so that's going in, and they're not cheap, they're 14 quid each, so that's it's about 50 odd pounds, you know. So yeah, hopefully, I don't know what the plugs I've got in there now. I haven't took them out. They've been in since I bought the bike, and it's time for a change. I've set with my rusty feeler gauges, which I left in the shed, and I've cleaned them back up. So if you're ever leaving your feeler gauges around, make sure you put a bit of oil on them. Don't do what I did. So they've got to be set between 09 and 08 millimeters on there, and then you've got the inches next to it, if you can see that. So that's your settings if you want to check out your plugs. They come preset, I believe, these plugs, but you never know, so it's worth having to check and see if they're the right gappage that they recommend. I've checked them and they seem the right gappage on all of them, so I'm not going to go through putting my feeler gauges into a spark plug. You should know how to do that. You just obviously insert, here's your spark plug, and you just put that up there, 09, and if they more or less touch, you know they're right. And that's 08 to 09, which I've checked. So we'll go outside. If you've never done the spark plugs before on an Hayabusa, it's not hard. You just got to take the tank up, the airbox off. So I'll show you how to do that and get the right. Obviously, I don't use the spark plug removers, which come with the actual bike. I use my own particular brand. They are a bit tricky in some of them to come out, and you do find sometimes they slide out of the little rubber holders. So bear with it. We'll go outside and have a little tinker. Just to recap on the actual spark plugs, as you might see up there in the video, it does say the IRIDIUM centre electro use a wire gauge for the gap, which is 08 to 09, and you've got the inches there as well. If you're very careful, you can use a feeler gauge, in my opinion. These are the old spark plugs I've took out. They're Denso, sorry. And they've been burning okay. You'll see that in the video as we go along. But use a wire gauge there. You can tap them down to get to the nearest your gap, and then measure it again with your wire feeler gauge. But if you haven't got none, then be very careful when you use the feeler gauge when you put it in. You can do it, but be just careful just sliding it in. Just thought I'd tell you that. So, you know, don't blame me that I haven't told you that, this information. And if you do break your electro, it's down to you. It's your own discretion. Buy the actual wire feeler gauge if you feel more comfortable. If you feel comfortable using a normal feeler gauge, just slide it in. Very, very careful, and you shouldn't have any damage. Just a little update there. Thank you very much. Right, before you start any job, obviously make sure your bike's stable, and take your seat off, which is down here, out of the way. get your rod at the back, stick it up there, told you, tank up, and proceed to take the airbox off. Take the airbox off, you need to take this bolt out and undo these screws here. I don't know if you can see them, they're right through there. You need an Allen key to unscrew them, and this side too. Obviously disconnect all your oxygen sensors, your pipes that are connected to the airbox breathers, all down here. Make sure you put them all back on when you take them off, so that one's got to come off. The airbox one, can you see that? And the other one, I don't know if there's any others. Oh, and this sensor here, I think. We'll have a look in a minute. Right, that's the first sensor out. Press that down and pull. Okay, so press that one down and pull. Pull the air tube out. Remember, these are all got to go back on. It's the air tube. Oil breather. Oh dear. Well, you can see I'm going to pull this one off. I want to get a screwdriver. This is hard to film, but you can understand I'm going to take that one off. So, get a screwdriver. And then the other one over the other side. And that's to your tank, which is down here. Or tank, I mean your engine breather. So, we'll take that one out, and then the other one. Right, I've got that one off. Got the clip off. I have to use a screwdriver just to start that off and then pull it. Wish I could show you, but it's hard to film. Like I say, I'm going to hold the camera, so just pull that down. It might just pull, but mine's been a bit stiff and it's been in there a while. So we go around the other side and take the other pieces off now. Right, just getting this airbox off now. That won't come off easy. And now the other sensor. I think this is in here, so make sure. No, that's the fuel thing. So we don't need to get that one off. No. So now we just concentrate on doing it. Press that at the bottom there and pull it down. So that's a little button just there, and pull it down, and it's done. Remember, these all got to go back on, so take your time. Right, proceed to start undoing and try and get the airbox off. And there's one here as well, which I forgot to tell you about, but it's a long time since I took the airbox off, so you do forget things. And that's a pipe here, so undo that, little clips there, and pull it down. That's off. That's it. That's off. So now it should come off. Now I'm going to undo this. That's your next one on top of the airbox. A bit loose, wasn't it? That's 10mm, by the way. Take your cable guide out. Right, what's next? I think everything else is loose. Just gonna get an Allen key. Right, I've got the Allen key in there, and I'm just loosening the Allen key to the actual tops of the actual throttle bodies inlets. And I'm going to do the other side as well. Where are you? I might see a loosen. Oh, I didn't take that one off there. Did you see that oxygen sensor there? I've got to take that one off. Just forgot about that one. You can easily forget. Right, bear with me while I get this off. So, update you if you looked at the video and I wasn't very clear about pulling the pipes out. It's been a long time since I've pulled out the tubes on an airbox, so you do seem to forget. Now you've got this sensor, which is to your right if you sit on the bike, and that is an intake air pressure sensor. That one, that's the black one, and the grey one, which is to the left of you if you're sitting on the bike, that is an intake air temperature sensor. And I think there's 3 other pipes you take off, which is up there, one that side and one this side, and then you've got the other one which I've been fumbling around, it's on that side. And you also got one more, which is a breather pipe here to the actual oil breather pipe that comes out of the actual engine. So I hope that's quite clear to you. So I'll just point that on there one more time, going up there, just to help you out. Thanks very much. Right, the airbox is off. Now, to get this off, it is, once you've undone everything on there, that's including all the sensors, all the thing, well, you need to obviously undo these sides, get them as loose as you can. Right, well, it's not very loose, to be honest. And that should rock it. You have to rock it up like that and give it a wiggle, and it'll come out. I couldn't show you that, but again, holding the camera. That's where you need someone, not to. Must employ somebody sometimes to hold his camera, or maybe get some sort of frame for it, I don't know. But anyway, so that's off. Now we're working on the spark plugs. As you can see them all in line. I'm going to do them one at a time. So that's where I'm coming from, one at a time. This thing that you're looking at here is my lights on the actual vehicle. They're just like coloured lights that come on. So don't worry about that. But I'm going to do a spark plug at a time, so I know you can't get mixed up really because they are self-explanatory, but I'd rather put one in at a time. So we're going to get these off and pull them out. Right, and now loose. The hardest one is this one. Alright, that's the hardest one on this side. But they're all loose now. I haven't unclipped them, but just for safety purposes, unclip them and try and rock them like so, and they will go. They are tight. Or get something underneath them, put a bit of cloth or something like that, and just lever them up. But be very careful. You don't want to break them. But the best way is to unclip these attachments and then pull them out singly, because you don't want to damage this. But I've done it my way. Do it your own way. So don't blame me if it goes wrong, because that's the way to do them, is unclip them, take them off, and then take them out. But I haven't done that because I can't be bothered, to be honest. That's the truth of it. But the professional way is to unclip them so you don't damage them, and then pull them out. Right, I'm working on this one now. This is the hardest one to get a twist on. Even though it's flexed, it's got quite a bit of stuff in the way, and it needs a bit of a twist. Just be patient with this one. The others are quite easy to undo. I'm taking this one out, and I'll show you once I've got it out what it looks like, how it's burning. Should be alright, don't think I'll have any issues with it, but it just comes to the end of their life. Right, I've got the plug out. As you can see, it's burning quite well. And what ones do we have in it? Oh, they're iridium as well, so there you go. 207s, Ds. Certainly different to the ones I'm going to put in. Oh well. But then again, that's probably a different make anyway. It's not an NGK, is it? Right, I've got the first one back in. So I'm putting that back on. Push that down, and we've done on that one. And then I've just got to work on that one, and so on, and so on, and so on. But like I say, I'll put the airbox back on, start it up, and that's all you've got to do, really. Well, that's the second spark plug out, and there. And it looks okay, so they're all burning all right. So I won't make another sort of interruption if they're all the same. No point you keep showing the same spark plug, but yeah, they're all burning okay. That's me putting one in, not out, but that can get quite boring. So they're going in alright. I'm using like a flexi coupling spark plug thing, so there you go. Right, quick update. Here's all the plugs. I'll show you the first one, there's the third, there's the fourth one. All in good nick. Not running sooty, so it's running quite well. Just put the last spark plug back in, and we're ready to put the airbox back on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the airbox, and see if I've got a K&M filter in there. Just give it a clean over, add a little bit of spray to it, clean it off, and before I put that back on, might as well whites out, see what the condition's like. But then I'll start the old beast up. Right, that's the torque settings in newtons 11, and into KGF, that's 1.1, and 8 pounds a square inch to torque them down. I didn't show you me torquing them down, but I did. And you know, if you've got a torque wrench, you can do that, but if you haven't got a torque wrench, then just do it hand tight, or the tightest you can go with your hand, and that should hold them in. That's the old way of doing them, but torque wrench is the best way. Then you get the right proper settings, so use a torque wrench. Right, I've just loosened all the nuts and bolts on the actual nuts and screws on the airbox. I'm going to take it to pieces to see how dusty it is, if it needs a clean. But it's K&N, so it's for life, you know. And it's clean as a whistle. And the oil, oh, that ain't too bad in there. A little bit of residue. Give that little wipe out, that's about it. But yeah, very impressed with the K&N. Let's check it inside. Oh, hang on, there's a little bit of residue in there. This one is a little bang out. Yeah, I'm impressed though, considering it's only a few thousand miles. Ain't too bad. A little bit of dust, clean it off, give it a little bit of spray. That's it. Well, I've cleaned inside of it with a screwdriver, and it's going back in. There's not a lot in there. A couple of spiders and a few flies been sucked up. Don't know how the spider got in there, but there you go. But yeah, all ready to go in. I'm just going to wipe that over, and you know, with a cloth, and that's about it. So the airbox will be going back on. Putting it back together now, so inspection done. Okay, well, that was a good one, wasn't it? Then again, it is one end, so there you go, it's done. Yeah, when you get a Phillips that fits properly. That's another tip. I'm installing the airbox now. I can't again film and show you how to do it, but get it lined up. Make sure all your cables are out of the way. Push the air intakes in as far as you can go. They don't always sit square. They just match up there. You can see where they sit. And just be patient. It does take a bit of time. Get it all lined up. But you see, you know, once you put it all in. Like again, if I could film it and show you, it's hard just to do it one hand. And I don't know where to put this camera, so that's what you got to do next. Just put that in. And make sure all the sensors are connected up, which you're taking off. The air pipe. I'll put a little bit of grease on there so it slides back on a bit. And there's another one over the other side. Sensors. Make sure all your sensors are on before you start up. Okay. And there's how many there is. One. The pipe has two. Let's go around the other side. Have I missed any? No, there's that one. What? Where's the others? There's the other pipe, which goes on there obviously. And, well, like I say, when I find all the sensors, well, I just put this airbox on first and I'll connect it all up. Right, I don't know if you can see down there, that's where these have got to match up to. And there's another one on the other side. And I'm trying to push this in now to get some. Make sure you get your leads up and any other leads that you've got hanging out of the way before you shut this down, otherwise you might chop them in half. Okay, so make sure you've got everything in line. You might need to lift the tank up more because there's not much access moving that about, so you might have to lean up the tank on your arm and give it a wiggle in there. Alright, I'll come back to you when it's all fitted. Alright, that's all in. I pushed it in and they seem to be lined up down there and the other one, just to make sure it's sitting square. Make sure you're sitting square down here. It's all down on both sides. Yes, that's all down. And it seems to be all lined up. Now we've just got to get the sensors put on. One there. Right, gets around the right way. I think it's this way round if I'm right. That one's in. Your pipe. Then you've got to get your clip. That one's back on. That's on. Let's go to the other side. Alright, where are we? Oh, that on there. That in there. Easy to put in and now to pull out. That's on. The other air pipe. There she goes. That's not bolted down yet, but I'm just putting these on already. Well, you know how it goes. I'll pull that up in a minute. And then this one
here. Push that up. And I think that's it. I don't think there's any more sensors. That one, I think there's only 2, I think. Can't remember pulling any more out in the video, but if there is, I'll check it out. Make sure your air breather pipes are on and everything, and then you'll be ready to go. Next thing is obviously to do these up, but you can do it the other way. You can do that up first, then put them on. I've done it back to front. Right, it's all back together now. It took a bit of time. Putting the bolt in, clip back in, wires all back in, sensors are all back in, tubes are back on. But just gotta make sure that you ain't left anything attached. Always check. I just gotta put that up, that's all. Just make sure everything's all in. I think it's all in, but I like to check. Alright, just to start up next. Alright, let's start the old girl up now. That's going to fucking fly off. It's hard to do there. Let's put it back down here. Warm it up a bit, it's new plugs in, it's all back together. Well, I've got to put the seat back on. Well, it's all back together now, it's all started up well, airbox is clean, spark plugs are all in, all gapped. I hope it's been informative. Thanks for subscribing. A very Merry Christmas. It's B21. I've heard the COVID virus what do you call it, antidote is on its way, and let's hope we can all move on, and let's have a happy new year for 21. Thanks for all watching, thanks for subscribing to the channel, appreciate that. It's growing, and if it wasn't for you out there, this channel wouldn't exist. Thank you very much. Bye bye.